Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video, and yes, one more movie to review that's another one of my favorite movies. And that's right, you read the title of what I'm reviewing, and, this year, it's celebrating its anniversary, and that being Sleepless in Seattle. Yep. Sleepless in Seattle is another one of my all-time favorite movies. I mean, what can you say about Sleepless in Seattle? It's not only, it's a perfect film for, say, Valentine's Day, for sure, And, this movie, it has some emotional stuff, some romance, all that kind of stuff, yeah. And it's another one of those films where the co-stars are Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, because they did a couple of films, especially there's You've Got Mail, so that's another good film of theirs. But anyway, so the story. After the death of his wife, Sam Baldwin, played by Tom Hanks, moves to Seattle with his son, Jonah, played by Ross Malangier, if I'm saying the last name right. I hope. When Jonah calls in to talk to a talk radio program to find a new wife for his father, Sam grudgingly gets on the line to discuss his feelings. Annie Reed, played by Meg Ryan, a reporter in Baltimore, hears Sam speak and falls for him, even though she is engaged. Unsure where it will lead, she writes Sam a letter asking him to meet her at the Empire State Building on Valentine's Day. Yeah, so, man, because what a great movie this is because of its storytelling. And especially getting the audience, are they gonna be together? When are they gonna meet? It's just because it's funny because they don't really meet in person until the very end of the movie. So, yeah, it's got a great cast and as I said, Tom Hanks as Sam Baldwin, Meg Ryan as Annie Reed, and Jonah, played by Ross, and Sam's late wife, Maggie Baldwin, being played by Carrie Lowell, I think I'm saying that right. Yeah, because, we see her in the movie, flashbacks, even a moment where Sam, kind of daydreams seeing his late wife. After, say, his wife's death, 18 months later, in a year and a half after she passed, because, where they're living now. And it's right around, takes place, at the beginning it takes around Christmas. And then, of course, New Year's and the New Year hits. And, and then, of course, up until Valentine's Day, that's, of course, that's when they meet. And the rest of the cast, there was Susie, played by Rita Wilson, Tom Hanks, his actual wife. So, yeah, pretty funny, because, I kind of like that sometimes, in some movies, where an actual husband and wife, they're in a movie, but they sometimes wouldn't play husband and wife. You get my point. Walter, who is, who he and Annie, they're both engaged. Walter being played by the one and only Bill Pullman. Spaceballs, Independence Day, Casper, that's him. Walter, you can kind of tell right off the bat, because, he seems like a nice guy, but he's not that fun, I guess. And he's got, sneezing problems and everything, too. And Annie, she's kind of mixed, of being with him, I guess you could say. And also, Rosie O'Donnell, some other cast members, Rosie O'Donnell, Gabby Hoffman, and Rob Reiner, David Hyde Pierce, they're in this film, but, they're not in this film that much. Especially because, say, who I named, for one thing, David Hyde Pierce, because, he's such a great guy and such a great actor, because he only has, like, I don't know, 2 scenes, I think? And that's it. And a moment where Annie, like, gets it, like, wants some advice from Dennis, David Hyde Pierce's character, because of, Dennis is married, and, like, she asking him how she fell in love, like, how asking him how he fell in love, yeah, and, like, Dennis said that, his now wife, like, saying that, like, either they break up or they get married, and of course they get married, so something like that. And Rob Reiner, who, where Sam lives, like, they're friends, and, like, they have some interactions, and, of course, like, okay, Jonah, because of him calling that, like, radio station, and Dr. Marcia, she was, like, we only hear her voice on the phone, and she was voiced by Caroline Aaron. And everybody hears this, of course, and, Annie does, and some women at a cafe, just, like, and according to Becky, 2,000 women heard this, and they tried to get his contact information. Well. Because at the beginning when, like, Jonah, like, called in, well, I don't know, Sam is just like, what have you done? But he seems to feel okay with this, like, and as he said to his son, it's helpful, and it is. So, and also, and also, fun fact about Rob Reiner, well, not only is he an actor, but he's a director, and he'd be best known for being the director of The Princess Bride. So there you go. And also, yeah, the young Gabby Hoffman as Jessica, Jonah's friend, like, her introduction, because when, and for Sam and Jonah, they live on, like, a boathouse, like a house that's, like literally right there in front of, like, the water, that kind of house. Like, when he at one point comes home and it's raining, and, like, like, Jonah, I'm home, and he goes up to Jonah's room, those kind of, like, egged, like, chairs, like, you spin them around, those, like, we see Jonah and a girl sitting right next to him, and it's Jessica. They're, like, listening to a record player or something, one of those with, like, a headphones, and, like, Jessica's first lines are, H-A-G, hi and goodbye. So that's what it stands for. And, even Jonah asked his dad to close the door. He did, but he kind of left it open just, because he was being sure, like, they're kids. Like, what do you think they're gonna do? They're just kids. Come on. What? You really think they're gonna smoochy? I mean, you get my point. But I gotta say, my favorite characters in this film were the kids. Like, everybody else was great, but especially the kids. Young Ross Malinger, I hope I'm saying his last name right. Him and Gabby Hoffman, they were so good in this, especially because when they were kids, like, and Gabby Hoffman, because what she would go on to do next, like, like, do a couple of films with her good friend Christina Ricci, and do some shows, etc. Yeah. So she was fantastic as, like, her character Jessica was such a good character in this, and especially because those times where, yeah, with Jessica and Jonah, and, like, Jessica helping out Jonah, like, well, at one point, like, Jonah is, and with the help of Jessica, writing a letter to Annie, and of course, putting it in the mailbox, and, she of course gets the letter, and, and at one point, Jonah, because, okay, as I read in the story, because, meeting at the Empire State Building on Valentine's Day, and, well, that's when Jessica sets up Jonah for a flight to New York, and, yeah, so that happens, and, also, because, there's even, like, say, well, I also, yeah, like, also, funny moments in this film, yeah, because this had some pretty good funny moments, of course. God, especially because, like, in 1 hour into the movie, because, like, things are really getting intense, but, like, with, say, Sam and his son, Jonah. Like, okay, moments between Sam and Jonah. Like, for example, because, there's this one girl that Sam starts dating, and her name's Victoria, played by Barbara Garrick. I think I got that right, yeah. She seems fine, but, one thing is, and according to Jonah, because one sequence, but like a conversation between Sam, Susie, and I think so, yeah, Susie's husband, Greg. Greg being played by Victor Garber. Yeah, I got that right. Titanic, the Arrowverse. Yep, that's him. So, like they're having this conversation, and and Victoria being brought up, and of course Jonah got to meet Victoria. Even say Victoria and Sam's first date. Well, Annie sent a detective out, to like get pictures of Sam, and even say like Annie trying to find out Sam's last name, and of course she figures it out because it's Baldwin. With Victoria, because as I've been trying to say, one thing about Victoria is according to Jonah, she laughs like a hyena because of her laugh. Like, I can't. That's the best I can describe her laugh. Yeah. So she seems okay. Even like say when she tried to cook a dinner and such. Was it onions? I think so. Yeah. Even say, oh yeah, because it seems like Jonah was going off to bed, but he kind of snuck down. He can hear them laughing outside of the house. The porch. And he calls back the radio station with Dr. Marcia, explaining what's going on out there, and, because seeing them, like, kissing and such, and, of course, Annie, like, she gets a call from Becky, because it's happening on the radio, and, like, listens to it, has the phone and has the radio, hides in a broom closet? Yeah, broom closet. Because, like, Jonah, like, at one point hangs up the phone, and he just screams. And even say Annie screams, because, well, like, Walter saw her, like, catched her in the broom closet, and Jonah just lied to his dad, because, I saw a Black Widow spider. That was pretty funny. Well, and even at one point, Annie did go down to, where Sam and Jonah lived, and it's Seattle. I remember now. In Seattle. Well, hence the title, Sleepless in Seattle. God. And you know what? Because that's what Dr. Marcia referred to Sam online, on the phone and so on, calling him Sleepless in Seattle. Roll credits. Yeah. So, that's where the title comes from, of course. So again, she makes her way, she does go to Seattle. But I think she mistakenly, and it isn't like, she mistakenly thinks that, well, Sam already found someone that's making him happy and Jonah happy, but it's really Susie. It's not. It's. I think at first, like even I kind of thought of this, and I'm sure to many others who thought of this too. Like maybe it's Victoria, but it's really Susie. Again, Rita Wilson's character, and so because even like say Annie just being close to being run over by traffic and so on. Even Sam does come face to face with Annie, like she's across the street and so is he. And, like, he says hello, and she says hello back, and that's pretty much it. Nothing else happened, just that. So it seems like, that was kind of a bummer. Like, nothing else happened. And a few important things about this movie, because, you know, for one thing, signs. Like, signs that, you know, like, telling Annie and Jonah and Sam, even though he's not really believing this, you know, signs telling them about, you know, being together, love, and stuff like that. You get my point. You know what I'm talking about. And also, a classic movie that's, a big part of this film too, and brought up, and, you know, and big influence on the characters. An Affair to Remember, the Cary Grant film. Yeah. So, big influence on this film and with the characters. And even, like, say, yeah, a conversation that I mentioned, because, you know, between Sam, Greg, and Susie talking about An Affair to Remember. You know, she's crying, talking about it, and Sam and Greg, they bring up Dirty Dozen, and that makes them sob. And I think after that, because we cut to Jessica and Jonah, and I think, yeah, same movie, Affair to Remember, like, that's making her cry. This is the best movie I've ever seen in my entire life, as Jessica says, and that's when, you know, that she books Jonah for a flight. And, you know, because, yeah, like, at one point, and this was before Jonah was about to catch his flight the next day, because, you know, a heated scene between both father and son, because Jonah's just not happy that his dad is gonna, like, you know, like, see Victoria some more, and, you know, as Sam says, get laid, you know, maybe get laid. Oh gosh, even, like, say, a little bit earlier in the film when they were brushing their teeth, Sam and Jonah, like, Jonah asked his dad, like, you know, you think you're gonna have sex with someone you're gonna like, and, you know, he says, I hope so. Wow, you know, it's funny, you know, it is. Again, like, not only is this emotional and romantic, you know, there are some good, funny moments in this. And so, yeah, because, even, like, God, Sam even telling his own son at one point to shut up, and, like, Jonah's like, shut up, and, you know, Mom never said that, and, you know, they're just not getting along at that point. And also because, like, there wasn't that much of her, but, you know, I think Clarice, played by Amanda Hayer, because she was Jonah's babysitter, like, her appearing in this film a little bit, and when she arrives and is gonna babysit him, well, Jonah at this point is gone, and of course, Jessica's parents confront her about where Jonah is. I just love it because at one point, you know, when her mom says, you know, Jonah's dad is worried too, blah, 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 and, like, she gives, like, this eye roll. Just like, I don't know why, but I just love that. That is just so good, you know? Young Gabby Hoffman, she was so good in this, you know? And when she was a child actress, in this and a movie with Macaulay Culkin and John Candy. So, and of course, you know, she tells them, you know, N-Y, you know, giving a hint of New York. And it's kind of funny because, you know, Jessica's dad's like, well, Sam's wondering what that means. And, you know, Jessica's dad, like, is like, you know, no way. And he's like, Sam's like, that's NW, and yes, it is. So, Y and W, I mean, you know. And of course, you know, Jessica says, you know, New York. He's on his way to New York. And gives the flight number and, you know, what time it was going to leave, and the clock strikes when it takes off. And you can see it if you look closely. You can see Jessica smiling. Just, oh, well, Jessica and Jonah, they succeeded. So, and Jonah being on his way. So, you know, that really shows, because, you know, just, like, between Jessica and Jonah, like, being brought up and, like, to Sam, you know, even, like, Sam saying to Jonah, like, hoping that him and Jessica don't get married. You know what? I ship them. I'm just saying, like, you know, hey, Jonah and Jessica, they seem like a cute couple. you know. And yeah, because that was very sweet and loyal of Jessica, like, helping out Jonah, like, to get to New York and to find Annie. And which he almost does. Like, he makes his way to New York safe and sound, takes a taxi, makes his way to the Empire State Building, way up top, and going, like asking each blonde woman, like, if she's Annie, but she's not there, because, well, Annie and Walter, like, they're having dinner, and that's when, you know what, they are just about to get engaged, and, you know, Annie just can't see it happening, you know, and not working out between her and Walter, and I guess Walter understands, you know, and, like, telling her that, you know, he doesn't want to be seen as, like, somebody to settle down with, etc. And, well, Annie, she runs off to the Empire State Building, and, well, Sam, he makes his way to New York, and he's reunited with Jonah, and, you know, just this close, like, they were making their way down, and Annie, she was making her way up, and that was kind of sweet, because telling this one worker at the front desk, like, quoting the Cary Grant movie, and he knows what she's talking about, and he says, you know, my wife loves that movie, and, you know, she's allowed to go up and see. Of course, they're not there, but Jonah left his backpack and his teddy bear in the backpack, and of course she finds it, and wouldn't you know, long behold, Sam and Jonah, they make their way back up because, well, Jonah left his backpack, and finally, at long last, Sam, Jonah, and Annie, they meet. And especially because, yeah, that's right before the movie ends. Because, again, you know, people, like, were just so, I guarantee, yeah, because anybody who would watch this for the first time would just be like, you know, are they gonna meet, like, at any point during this movie? Just, you get my point. And, well, they do, like, as I said, like, they do, like, see each other, and, like, as I said, like, they say hello, and that was pretty much it, but at the very end, that's where it really kicks off. And also, in this movie, we get a couple of songs, like, 2 songs, maybe it's the same song, I can't remember, from the late Jimmy Durand, if I'm saying his last name right, you know, the narrator from Frosty the Snowman, because, yeah, some of his songs play, and, what a way to end that film, because they get on the elevator, and, you know, I'm telling you, because this movie is so good. Sleepless in Seattle, what else can I say? Just, what a great movie this is, with romance, emotion, some good funny moments, as I said. And it's got a great cast, good chemistry, storytelling, you name it. Definitely a 10 out of 10. Just fantastic. Love this film. And what about you guys? What do you think of Sleepless in Seattle? Have you seen this? What did you think of my review? Leave comments and give this review a like, as always. So, with that being said, again, 10 out of 10 for Sleepless in Seattle. Happy anniversary to this film. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Sleepless in Seattle. Thank you very much for watching. More reviews on your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video / review. And I hope you enjoyed the list of some of my all-time favorite movies, you know, leading up to my birthday. And until next time, take care, and peace out.